When the two of them got home, the house was empty. His mother-in-law, Elaine, was still out with her friends, and Claire hadn't gotten off work yet. So Charlie went to his bedroom first and took the lightning-struck wood out of the box. A powerful aura flowed from the wood. Charlie sat cross-legged on the floor, placed the lightning-struck wood in his palm, and closed his eyes. He let the techniques from the mystic knowledge flow through him, slowly absorbing the spiritual energy into his body. When he opened his eyes, they gleamed, and his whole aura had changed completely. The heartwood in his hand was already a little duller, but even though it had lost some of its aura, it still crackled with a powerful, thunderous energy, making it a true treasure. With the right materials, Charlie could now use it to craft some simple magical artifacts. When he came out of the room, it was already dark. As soon as he walked into the living room, Charlie heard his mother-in-law snorts coldly and say, "Oh, you're finally gracing us with your presence. I suppose you expect me to have dinner waiting for you?" Charlie smiled wryly and explained, "Sorry, Mom. I was exhausted this afternoon and ended up falling asleep." "Oh, was the auction so tiring? Or was it messing with Harold that wore you out?" Elaine said angrily. Charlie was taken aback. He shook his head and said, I didn't do anything to Harold." "Where did you hear that?" Elaine snored. "Of course. Lady Wilson called and said you made a fool of yourself and got Harold kicked out. She called and chewed me out. She said you're a good-for-nothing. Can't you just stay out of trouble for once?" Claire, who had just gotten home, said from the side, "Mom, if Harold got kicked out, he must have caused the trouble himself. It has nothing to do with Charlie. Charlie wouldn't do something like that." "Why not?" Elaine angrily threw her chopsticks down on the table. "Harold came back crying to his grandmother, saying that because Charlie got the invitation through shady means, they got caught. The collector's vault was furious, and since Harold is part of the Wilson family, he got kicked out too. The owner even said the Wilson family is never allowed back, and they'll break their legs if they dare to try. The whole family is a laughingstock because of you." Jacob spoke up then. "There was nothing wrong with the invitation. I think Harold caused the trouble himself, and he was scared his mother would punish him, so he's just blaming Charlie to save his own skin." "And you're still defending him? If you hadn't insisted on going to that stupid auction, would any of this be happening?" Elaine glared at Jacob and seethed. Jacob quickly shut his mouth and focused on his dinner, not daring to say another word. Elaine said impatiently, "He's a total waste. How could he possibly get an invitation letter? Now he's offended Harold. I wonder how he's going to get out of this one." Before she finished speaking, there was a knock on the door, followed by a low voice. "Excuse me. Is Mr. Charlie at home?" Elaine's face tensed up, and she shot Charlie an angry glare. "Oh, great. That must be her. Look what you've done." "Let's just see who it is first," Claire said, her expression serious as she stood up and walked towards the door. The living room fell silent. Elaine and Jacob both got to their feet nervously, trying to figure out what to say. Charlie's expression darkened. If Lady Wilson had come here to twist the truth and blame him, he wasn't about to show her any respect. Claire opened the door carefully and asked on guard, "Can I help you?" Charlie frowned, strode to the door and gently pulled Claire behind him. He said coldly to the people outside, "You're looking for me?" A middle-aged man in a sharp suit smiled respectfully when he saw him. "You must be Mr. Charlie, right? I'm the new manager of the collector's vault. I just started this afternoon." Charlie looked at the man, surprised. "You're from the collector's vault?" "The collector's vault?" Claire, who was standing behind him, was also stunned. The man hurriedly said, "The owner of our gallery feels terrible about what happened to you, Mr. Charlie. He kicked Harold Wilson out right then and there, and he even suspended the auction. The service was not up to our standards, and we came here hoping you could forgive us for the whole mess." After speaking, the middle-aged man waved his hand. A few burly men in black suits immediately carried in several gifts and set them by the door. Charlie glanced over and saw a pile of expensive gifts. A case of limited edition the Liberty Tower whiskey and a case of 30-year-old Kentucky bourbon. There was also a pair of antique Victorian vases and a set of tortoiseshell. This stuff had to be worth over $1 million. Mr. Charlie, this was our mistake, the man continued. The owner is busy planning a new auction with Miss Smith, so he couldn't come himself. But he sent me to apologize. He said he'll apologize to you in person as soon as he gets the chance. We hope you'll forgive us. After finishing, the middle-aged man gave a deep bow right in front of Charlie. Charlie nodded and said, "All right, you can leave them there." The middle-aged man then pulled 2 golden invitation letters from his pocket and handed them to Charlie respectfully. "This is an invitation to the new auction. Please, come with Mr. Wilson. I promise we won't disappoint you again. Please, give us a chance to make it right." After speaking, he explained, "There's also a special exclusive auction pass. We've only ever issued 10 of these passes, and they're good for life. It gets you the highest level of service whenever you visit the collector's vault." Charlie glanced at the pass. Its surface was gold, detailed with gold leaf and diamonds. Charlie said casually, "I'm not really interested in auctions. Ask my father-in-law if he is." "Okay." The middle-aged man quickly held the card out to Jacob and said with a smile, "Mr. Wilson, I'm so sorry about what happened today. Please be sure to visit us the day after tomorrow." This. Jacob, still reeling from the shock, glanced at the VIP card and couldn't help but swallow hard. He recognized it as an exclusive VIP card for the collector's vault, something they only gave to their most prestigious clients. It wasn't for sale at any price. Anyone with this card could come and go from the collector's vault as they pleased, enjoying the highest level of service. They could view all the antiques in the gallery anytime and get significant discounts on purchases. It was a temptation Jacob couldn't resist. Just as he was about to shamelessly accept it, a hand suddenly shot out from the side and snatched both VIP cards. It was Charlie's mother-in-law, Elaine. She grabbed the 2 VIP cards with a huge smile on her face and excited said, "Well, since you're here to apologize, I will reluctantly accept these gifts and VIP cards. The auction is the day after tomorrow, right? My husband will be there." Elaine was ecstatic. These gifts were pure money. She didn't know how much the antique was worth, but that case of vintage reserve bourbon had to be worth $30,000 or $40,000. And with 20 bottles in there, that was hundreds of thousands. Then there was the collector's edition whiskey. A single carton went for $5,000, and the case held 50 of them. That was more than $200,000 right there. The 2 items together were worth almost $1 million, and it was all for free. With these 2 VIP cards, she finally had something to show off to her old friends. When Claire saw Elaine's greedy expression, she said helplessly, "Mom." Elaine glared at her. "What's the problem? Am I not allowed to accept a gift from someone?" Claire said, "I mean, we shouldn't take it. We don't even know what's really going on. How can you accept such an expensive gift from them?" Charlie said calmly, "It's an apology gift. We should accept it." The middle-aged man breathed a sigh of relief. Before he left, the owner of the gallery had personally told him that if Mr. Charlie didn't accept the gifts, he shouldn't even bother coming back. Charlie turned and saw Elaine gleefully hauling the bourbon and cigarettes into the house. She was holding the pair of antique vases, turning them over and inspecting them under the lamp. He could only shake his head to himself and say to the middle-aged man, "Thanks for this. I'll see you." "All right, I won't disturb you any longer, Mr. Charlie." Charlie closed the door and turned around, but stopped short. "Why are you all staring at me?" He saw 3 people in the living room, and all eyes were fixed on him. His mother-in-law, Elaine, gave a dry cough and a smirk. "Charlie, since when are you friends with the collector's vault? Why would they come all the way to our house to give us gifts and apologize?" Charlie shook his head. "Mom, you've got it all wrong. I don't have any friendship with them. They came to apologize because the collector's vault has a reputation for good service. One of their employees made a mistake, and the boss wants to protect his reputation, so they're making up for it in a big way. Elaine's face fell instantly. She scowled and said, "I thought you were finally becoming someone important, that you actually knew some big shots. I didn't expect this was all just because of good customer service." Claire, standing to the side, was still confused. Could they really have given such an expensive gift just because of good service and a desire to make things right with Charlie? But with all the valuable gifts, Elaine was feeling much better. She finally stopped giving Charlie a hard time, happily plotting in her head how quickly she could sell the bourbon and cigarettes. After dinner, Charlie was cleaning the dishes in the kitchen when his phone suddenly rang. The caller was Christian Knox, a man he'd had dealings with before. He was the one who had given him the emerald bracelet. On the phone, Christian said respectfully, "Mr. Wade." Charlie replied casually, "What is it?" Christian said quickly, "Thanks to your guidance last time, Mr. Wade, the Knox family has been doing much better these past few days. I have to thank you for your help. Without it, my family would have been facing a disaster." Charlie said coolly, "I'm guessing it's not all going so smoothly, is it? If everything was fine, you wouldn't be calling me now." Christian choked for a second, then laughed awkwardly. "Mr. Wade, you really know everything, don't you? It's like you're a mind reader." "I can't hide anything from you." Charlie just smiled faintly, without saying a word. And just as he expected, Christian's voice trembled as he said, "Mr. Wade, please, save the Knox family one more time. We will be in your debt for the rest of our lives."
Hey amazing viewers, it's Charlie here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 11% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 89% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.